last week. There's some good stuff in here. We're going to first open it up that the players are going to receive $600 and a copy of the game. And I need to immediately ask all of you, is that enough?
Yep.
You guys, I mean, that is deep. Put yourself in the mental space of, let's say, Shedeur Sanders, because he makes a ton of NIL money. Is that enough?
Yep.
Yeah, who cares?
I know. I agree. Who cares? That's your
cares?
personal opinion. But
Hey, can Negative Nelly ask something quick?
yes, let's hear it.
Positive.
Do we see this? Do we see this
Ollie.
game die again because players aren't getting compensated enough for it? And $600.
Hell no,
never
keep
has
their
become-
ass out. I ain't buying it to play with the kid. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit. I think it's cool. Like I trust me, I really, because I thought it was cool when you could play the game, and I was like Reese was saying, you're Drew Tate, or you could be Vince Young, or running as Reggie Bush. But
JP,
even when the
JP,
name wasn't in it, I don't care.
You're thinking in the mind of a 25-year-old guy who hasn't had this game in a decade. Yes, you're going to buy it, but you're forgetting about the other part of this group that's going to be paying for half of its sales, and that's the 10 to 13-year-olds who are begging mommy and daddy because they want to.
Mommy and daddy will still buy that game whether some kid's in it or not.
No, it's not. It's not them buying it. It's them asking for their parents to buy it because those players are in
But
it.
how many times as
Like,
a
you
kid
take
did
out-
you buy this game right here, because you wanted to play as a certain player?
I could genuinely say if you took out, as a 10-year-old, if you took out Reggie Bush, if you took
Nope.
out some Iowa State players, I would be less interested. Now, would that sway me to not buy the game? Probably not. I don't know. But the fact, guys, come on now. Let's not be oblivious. You looked up to every Iowa player when you were 10, every Nebraska
Yeah, but
player
I'm
when you
saying
were 10.
I never. It was more about the stadium, the school, the uniforms, the ability to be a part of that than it was to play as a certain player. To me,
I would agree with that. I would agree with that, because at the end of the day, we can say what we want about what the rosters are going to look like. Some nerd out there, I love you. I love you. If you're listening to that and you're that nerd,
We
they're
love
gonna
you.
Upload
Actually,
it. And if you think that
I
they're
don't
going
know
to
if they'll
block
let
it out,
them.
you can't type in Shedeur Sanders. Okay, well then Padur Panders is going to be playing quarterback in
That's true.
Colorado. I know who the hell it's going to be.
And,
So it's not
and
going to
are
be
they
far
gonna
enough.
change the attributes on these kids, or just not put their name in there? Like, is this kid instead of being 6'5", with dreadlocks, is he 6'4", with no dreadlocks, and his number's different, but the same attributes? He's still going to be like, you know what I mean? Like, how much
I
different
think
is
that
going to
still
get?
goes into his likeness. Like if he doesn't opt into his
Okay, so
Why-
we're
why
gonna.
Or is he
doesn't it?
5'8", 150 pounds with brown hair?
It's a
or
different
5'8",
number. He's
160
got
pounds with red
different hair. You have no idea. You have no idea. You could. I don't think you could say that's me.
Little guys
That's
can play
me.
football,
If
too.
the hair, the number's different. The hair or whatever
run
else,
the hair,
maybe like
JP.
other stuff different.
Little guys can
He's stuck
football
on-
too, Jay.
But I'm saying they're not gonna. You're gonna take that to court and be like, well, their attributes is the same as mine. The judge would be like, what attributes do you have? What would you put yourself as? How do you know that's you?
Hondo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you gonna watch film side by side with this kid playing a video game? Be like, actually, you know what? He looks like an 84 speed. It might be him. No,
I just
That's not
don't
gonna
know what they're going to do when it runs into, because there's only so many numbers you can wear in a football jersey. Like, what if everybody besides the starting quarterback opts in? Is that starting quarterback going to be number 97? Because that was one of the few numbers available.
Yeah.
So
possible.
that would be an ugly mess up. But either way, we're going to find ways around it. I don't think, I mean, if guys like Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders are taking the money, I think maybe other places,
not
I would
gonna
hope
happen for
kids
at
are going to
least
be like,
4
All right.
years. I think
That's
in
enough.
3 or 4 years, we'll start hearing like,
Well,
yeah, dude, I deserve to get more. I deserve to get more. Like, I believe
25-year-old
that,
Grayson McCall is going to need this $600 to pay for his life insurance when he gets out of school, man.
Mhm. Fair enough. Fair enough. Throw that in your 401k. It's already adding up. Also, let's not forget, we can be honest here. We all were in college 2-3 years ago.
it's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. That would do a
That's
lot for me.
3
in
months
college.
of rent
But-
right there.
At the same time, that
Two
is,
and a half?
It's like
that's like
65 Panda Express trips for everybody.
I think
That's
that's like a
it.
week or a half a week of pension from those kids that they get, or stipend, whatever they get as Division I athletes.
Yeah.
Like, they don't blink at that.
I would. It's just extra money, and it's good for us to have the ability to play as them in a video game. I almost said the other way. I almost said play with them, but I didn't. Would have had to hard pause on that. All right, let's jump to the next parts of this game. What we know. There's going to be no coaches, which is kind of weird to me. I'm sure they'll maybe come to a deal with them sooner than later. All 134 FBS schools are in the game. That includes your Kennesaw State. That includes your Sam Houston State. You'll have the ability to play with these teams for the first time in the history of video gaming. They were never in one before, so it's awesome.
Sam Houston State.
Oh, that's not true. No. The games used to have FCS teams back in the heyday.
Oh, that's way
they
back
did,
way,
and it
way
was
back.
absolutely electric.
That was amazing.
But that's my next point. No FCS schools at launch, which was the very big point of that is at launch, because I would love for that to be added into the game. Playing in the Dakota Dome and Vermilion would be electric.
Do like a subscription, like they get like 6 months in, they like first launch the first 5. It's North Dakota State, South Dakota State.
Oh, like the old uniform packs.
Yeah, but it's a subscription. You got to pay
DLC.
like $30 for a DLC. Yeah, like Call of Duty.
That's fine. I'll do it.
I was gonna
You
say
think they would?
Some boys are doing it.
They might.
No
I
problem.
think they might.
Ain't no problem.
No problem. That is no problem at all. I mean, thank God this is coming out when we're adults and we're young enough now where we don't have too
Disposable
many
income.
responsibilities.
Hey,
I'm
you know what
throwing
dinner
that
you wanted
bitch
to
out.
go to? I can't. I got to buy the new DLC. I mean, you got to believe right now that Albany's in this, and like it's just crazy. You have to let me buy it. Like,
It's 2
Albany,
less
Cal
bouquets of
Poly,
flowers.
Drake.
2 less bouquets of flowers. Sorry, honey. Maybe my marriage will take a hit, but damn, I'll take it. I need
My
those
mental be
teams.
up.
I'm putting it in. And then JP, I'll let everybody talk on this. I'm sure Jake, this is a very big worry for you as well. Same engine as Madden, which it's EA Sports, so that's expected. But it should look and feel different. That should is a very, very important piece. What's your biggest worry for this game? It's that it feels like Madden, right? That it plays like Madden?
Yeah, I hate the run mechanics in that game. I just hate the movement style.
I just think everybody runs like DK Metcalf in that game. That's what I compare it
and they
to.
look weird. Like everybody's built like a cone or something. It looks odd. Like we had it right. We just need to like not make it so dramatic. Like you got so realistic, you made it unrealistic with how some people look in Madden. Like they focused on the face so much that this guy literally looks like a sand hourglass. Like it makes no sense. Like what does that even mean?
Yeah, I hear that. Jake, what do you got? What's your biggest scare with this football game, and is this it?
As somebody who gave Madden a shot for like 2 months and then quit after I threw an interception off my center's head, off my quarterback's chest, off the center's ass, and then into the defensive lineman's hands. Yeah, that's pretty scary for me, to be completely honest with you. I don't know. It's college, so I feel like you gotta make it this sounds dumb, but you got to make it a little more unrealistic. Make the players a little quicker. Yeah, they might make a dumber catch than they probably should. The cut
We've
should
all
be
seen
a little
that clip,
faster.
right? Where the kid gets sacked, he dives at the quarterback's legs, and he's falling backwards. And throws it like this, and it goes
throws it right behind him.
65 yards on a dime. Yeah, incredible stuff. Like that, I
won a couple of those.
It's insane the progressions the game has taken graphically and pretty much everything else except for the mechanics. The mechanics, I think, took a step back. I don't know how they run less human-like now than they did in 2013, but they did it. EA Sports found a way.
Yeah,
So,
I
like-
agree. It has done that, but go ahead, Jake.
I was gonna
would
say,
change the
somebody
topic.
let me know, like, what does the engine even mean? Like, I
The
sound
engine
old for
would
saying
mean
that.
like your movement mechanics and how people react when they run into each other.
I
like
assume it's
hand
the base.
movement,
So
code
it's-
of the game.
it's the
like-
same. So how is that the
Everything.
same as Madden, but it's going to feel different?
because you can
I
tweak
assume
it
it's the
and move
base
it around.
game.
Yeah.
Like sidelines, cutaways,
Juke
things
differently
like
or
that.
something.
No, I think
or-
I think it's the same. Like
Any nerd out
Think of it
there
as
know
like
what
one-
engine means?
yeah.
What has better info?
it's like
Drop
the
in the
same.
comments.
Yeah, come on,
overall one, but
nerds.
you can make tweaks to it. Like there's tweaks to be made.
I have a question, Jake. Are you a guy? Would you say that you get mad at these football games? Like, do you think you get
As-
frustrated when it comes to playing these NCAA games? Like, do you ever get mad?
Okay, first of all, trick question, and I'll
Insert
tell the
clip
crowd.
here.
I'll tell the chat honestly. As
You don't have any timeouts. We don't have any timeouts. You got it. Hey, come on, get off. Who you got? Who you got? Who you got? Put it on my ball. I told you. What is that, Slim Cooper? Why did you dive forward? Why did you dive forward? 4 down, he scored a touchdown. touchdown. That was awesome.
What are you fucking doing?
That was awesome.
I thought you were gonna make
that
a
was-
TikTok of that. I didn't think you had them loaded up. That was good, dude.
That's fucking great. Good for you guys. That's pretty
funny.
funny. Those aren't even my top 3 highlights. As somebody who's been grounded for like kicking holes in walls and shattering glass, like those really happened.
Dude,
Oh,
I
Yeah.
have chucked the controller in my day.
I
Facts.
am staying up at night knowing that this game could play like Madden because I don't want to touch back.
There's no down
that
pause
inner
coming
demon
back.
used to be. Because I haven't seen that guy around in a long time, and I just don't. I don't need to see
oh, he's
him.
hiding. He's creeping out, buddy.
Oh, he'll come out. And then this is a perfect example of why this game is so important to us. It's brought us memories. I think all of us can say whether we've broken something, punched a hole in a wall, or had a good experience with the game.
Legitimate
throwing Hail
fights
Marys
with
to win the
friends
game.
though. Like
Yeah.
legitimate, like we are face to face, like ready to go because that's the kind of stuff that happens. So that's it's
No
very
reason to know.
Little family shot there from JT, but it's very true. I think when we would watch him play nightly, there were some mental issues going on with Jake. But it's a very important game. Let's keep going to the information. Like we said, no coaches. What do you guys think about this? Does it suck? Is
Fine,
it going to be
fine.
weird? I guess
It's
it doesn't
weird,
really
but it's
matter.
fine. I don't think it's gonna affect the game that much.
Don't you create your own coach in 2014, anyways? Don't you?
Yeah.
create yourself
Every
in
time you start
mode?
Dynasty. Yeah.
I
And
think
you're
the only
never-
one that has it is we need to give a quick shout out to this. The only thing that has it is college football revamped, which for the last 6 years, those guys have brought us joy again.
Yeah.
And there's members
goats.
of that team that are on this project for EA Sports that they brought on, which is very good and news for us. But those guys,
And-
shout out.
Those revamped guys did a really good job of listening to the people who are playing revamped, right? Like if something was going on, like they were really good at responding. If somebody wanted something added or just had like anything or any feedback, like those revamped guys were replying on all social medias, like really working at it. Now, granted, smaller team, smaller game, like you're not really catering to how many millions of copies this thing's going to sell. But like if they're there, I think they understand the importance of that too.
Fair enough. Let's go to the commentators. There are a number of people who have come out and said that they are in the game, including us. Gotcha. We wish. Jesse Palmer, Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler, Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, Kevin Connors. I assume your booth members will be Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit, Saturday Night Football, which is great news for us because that's a great crew, probably the best crew working, most loved across the board. But those other names, Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, those got to make you think college game day is a part of the game, right?
ESPN crew.
Yeah, that's
Probably.
my hypothesis is you're gonna have some sort of game day preview.
Man, did
And
I want
then
that CBS
your-
crew a part of it.
Your Kevin Connors and Jesse Palmer will be the halftime show. That's your halftime crew, or you're like, you know how it cuts to mid game on an update of an upset or something. That's where Jesse Palmer and Kevin Connors would come in. I don't know if I'm ready to see like they're gonna do like like 2K used to do with the TNT show. Are they really going to generate like what it looked like? You know what I'm
I
talking
hope
about?
so.
Like they did the actual pregame show and they showed Shaq's face and Kenny's face. They're gonna really do that with Desmond Howard and Reese Davis.
I hope so.
Technology.
I was big into that back with the old games. I thought one of the best parts of 06, 07 was when they'd flash up to college game day. Corso would make his pick in the booth before the game.
True, yeah.
Just an electric factory. So just including something like that. I mean, I don't think Lee Corso's very active on Twitter, but hopefully he's in there too, and they're keeping that one a secret. That would be a great piece while he's on his
Is
way
Gary
out.
Danielson in it? Has he said anything? Do we know?
No, everybody I
I'm so
named is the
mad.
ones we've heard from. But they did say that there could be a possibility of multiple announcing crews in the future. And that brought a question that I actually heard from a listener last week. Do you guys think would be okay with you if they only released the base game, College Football 25, once every 2 or 3 years, and they just did updates like online games do, and they added things that way?
As long as it plays well.
Massive update.
Yeah, I guess if it doesn't play well, then you'd want an
massive.
entirely
But,
new
like,
game.
But like at the same time, like the rosters are going to update. They do that well. You're going to have online servers so that you won't have to download those rosters. They will be doing it themselves. Like
Right.
MLB The Show, 2K, like those are live roster updates, right? You'll be able to do that. they'll have a big one at, I assume, in like May or June for like the next year, right? And then if that just stays clean, like we're good, right? But you'll have to keep up on your own end if you're like restarting a dynasty, like maybe somebody got fired, it's a new coach, they're running a new scheme. If you're that into it to like make sure teams are running the right stuff, I usually, depends how I'm feeling when I start a new dynasty, if I move teams around and what I do with them, but it's.
Did you guys see the hate? Did you guys see the hate on Twitter of Herbie? Like,
Yeah.
they're like, people were like, I'm so excited for this feature to be in the game. And it pans into the Madden settings of the in-game commentators scrolling it down to 0. Like, there was
Yeah.
a bunch of memes of that.
I
Everybody
usually play
hating
the
on
game.
Herbie.
A lot of time I'm playing that game muted anyway because I have something else going. Like I'm watching another game or I'm watching a show or I'm listening to music or something. I don't listen to it a ton, like the actual game. I don't know if you guys feel similar.
I think you're only like that though because you've heard every one of those quips umpteen times over the 10 years. Like I'm going to be full volume on this for at least 2 years until I get Curb Street tired of yelling at me for going for 2 up 30.
Did you hear that? Like Fowler they've done endless amount of
oh my god, listening to him talk about that was unreal.
That gets me excited. And I like, no offense to Brad Nessler, but like Brad Nessler and Herbie never did an actual game together, at least to my knowledge. Like Fowler and Herbie are the best probably commentating duo in college football right now. So to hear especially Fowler's name when he actually says touchdown your team that you don't really ever hear in real life will be
Johnson.
I don't know, be pretty damn
definitely
cool.
I never hear it. Every time we play on Saturday Night Football we get thrashed, but yeah, that will be nice. I like that. Okay. Last question before we get into our picks for our rebuild teams and ranking our past video games. Out there features that you guys might add. This would be a far-fetched thing that you know is probably not going to be a thing. I'll lead it off to give you guys an idea, but I always thought it would be cool in Dynasty mode to have more upper management options. Like everybody knows that unless you're Oregon, Maryland, you don't pick your uniforms week to week. Nebraska schedules them out for the year. I know what they're going to wear every game. I think it would be a cool feature to not have to pick a uniform every game. You're set for this schedule, wearing this for homecoming. It's out there, but other features like that you may think of that you always be like, oh yeah, that'd be cool if they had it.
I think if you're progressing in Dynasty mode, like if you're building up a MAC team, and we're going to talk about that, I think
stadium upgrades.
Getting the money to add stadium additions or upgrades.
That is not something I had thought of, Jake, but I love that idea. The ability to grow.
I mean, you're going to win games. You're going to be on TV. You're going to be getting the playoff revenue share. Like, might as well use it for facilities or something, or a stadium update.
I got a stupid funny one. I don't know if they're going to do it. Did they mention if they're going to add mascot games at all?
I'm sure they'll have.
Mascot mashup is a staple.
That'd be a stupid funny one. I mean, I hope they have it in there.
The old ones were hilarious. The Stanford tree running the option. There's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like the Stanford tree running the option. Another one I had, JP, was kind of on the franchise level of Madden, where you kind of got to set, and I know they have this in NHL, where you like set your ticket prices and you get to set your merchandise prices. I would like to have access to something within the NIL. Like if we're going to open a collective and I get to select let's say beef jerky or a beer, like all of the collectives have, and whatever I pick, it randomizes, and some of them are successful and I make money, some of them are not successful and I lose money, and it can raise or lower my collective based upon how the product hits. I think that would be cool too.
Out there things I thought about this today. This isn't out there. This is just something I really want. We need a mix between NCAA 13 recruiting and NCAA 14 recruiting.
That's
14
very
was too easy and had nothing to it. It wasn't any fun.
NCAA 12 is
what's wrong with 12 compared to 13?
And there's so much. It takes forever to recruit in 12.
Yeah. And 13 is the one where you call kids and you have 6 topics and you're changing. That's in 13 as well. But I'm saying 14 got too easy. And I get a lot of the guys that want to just play the game to play the game in the years. But that's not what franchise is.
Yeah.
Or dynasty. Like, that's not what it is. Like, it's the whole thing and the whole kit and caboodle, right? So we need a little mix of both, in my opinion, in that. If you want to just like play that, just play one season. Who cares how you're recruited? If you don't care about the recruiting, just play a single season.
Or you have it like a Madden where you have a franchise mode or a season mode.
Yes.
So you can either run that stuff, run recruiting, collectives, handle that stuff, or just play the games if you want to play the games. You can have that option. I can't imagine that would be a tough add-in for them.